I'm not worried about the supremacy clause on our bill, especially with the current administration and the changes that they're making. I don't think we're going to get sued by the federal government on this. And yes, there probably will be a private cause of action or private lawsuit against this from some entity, but we will see.
Well, we didn't have to wait long to see a lawsuit filed against House Bill 83 or the Immigration Cooperation and Enforcement Act. Immigration enforcement in cooperation with the Federal Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So could we call it the ICE Act, maybe? Anyway, the day Governor Brad Little signed House Bill 83 into law, the American Civil Liberties Union filed a class action lawsuit against it on behalf of a farm worker advocacy group, a nonprofit law firm, and 5 anonymous non-citizens. Well, enforcement is now not a thing with this new law, at least for now. A federal judge just put an injunction on it, blocking that enforcement or cooperation while the lawsuit works through the court system. This law would allow local law enforcement to ask about immigration status and document that status when someone is accused or being investigated for a crime. They can then share that information with ICE. First-time offense of being in Idaho undocumented would be a misdemeanor. Re-entry would be a felony. The law also created a new crime of felony trafficking a dangerous alien for anyone bringing in an undocumented immigrant into Idaho. But because of this decision today, none of it can be enforced as of now, which is, of course, the ultimate goal of the plaintiffs who call this law not only extreme, but unconstitutional. Here's Hunter Funk.
The law created a lot of fear in immigrant communities and amongst our plaintiffs here in Idaho. So with this preliminary injunction, communities can breathe a little bit easier.
A federal court has told the state of Idaho not so fast on House Bill 83, and it's what the American Civil Liberties Union is calling their first victory.
We've challenged the law's entry and re-entry crimes. So these are state immigration crimes that try to let state law enforcement basically enforce federal immigration law without the proper training and without the proper support. And so that's unconstitutional. It violates federalism principles, and we're really encouraged by the court's ruling validating that.
After 2 emergency restraining orders blocked the law to go into effect for the short term, now a judge granted a preliminary injunction, which means the law can't be enacted until the court decides whether it's unconstitutional or not. The ACLU of Idaho says it doesn't just impact Idahoans, but people passing through as well.
The law could affect anyone who travels through the state of Idaho, who's in the state of Idaho.
HB 83 is part of a growing trend in Republican-led states trying to take immigration enforcement into their own hands.
A few other states have tried to pass legislation like this, and it's been blocked in every case. So in Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa, and Florida, there are similar laws that have all been blocked. So we think that Idaho passed a law that is clearly unconstitutional, and we think that it's not a good use of anyone's time or resources.
The ACLU of Idaho says it's not only unconstitutional, but puts immigrant communities in danger.
We're going to continue to fight on this lawsuit until we obtain a permanent injunction that protects immigrant communities here in Idaho, and we're not going to stop fighting to protect our immigrant communities.
And when it comes to the co-sponsors of the bill, Representative Jaron Crane and Bruce Skog, on what they're thinking about this injunction after it came out, well, we've yet to hear back from them. So for now, Brian, like we mentioned, it's pretty much put on hold.
And that's not unusual for laws like this as they work their way through the courts. Representative Crane, I do remember he mentioned this is based on a Texas bill, Texas law, and that law is currently in the courts, as you just mentioned.
Correct.
But he's pretty sure that he said the Supreme Court has already said it's good to go and can be enforced. But there was a question as to why not wait until what happens with that Texas bill. Both he and Skog were pretty confident that this bill is better than the Texas bill, so they just didn't want to wait. It's kind of how they put it.
That holds up. Yeah, I was going to say, and obviously other ones are trying to challenge it as well.
Yeah, but here we are. It's tied up in court, so we'll see how it plays out. Thank you very much, Hunter.